West Ham are out of the Premier League's relegation zone after a 1-0 draw against Aston Villa, an unconvincing 1-0 draw against Aston Villa at the London Stadium yesterday. Ollie Watkins' first half header gave the visitors the lead, but Said Benrahma levelled from the spot to make the tie go to a 1-1 draw as both teams walked away with a point and West Ham moved ever so slightly out of the relegation zone. As we get started on today's 5 things we learned about the West Ham and Aston Villa game. I've got many things I want to say. It's not been ideal, but let's get cracking on the first part of the show, and that is that Emerson should play. We're talking about a player here that again has been inconsistently in and out of the team at West Ham, but today again I thought he was a shining light on a player's performance who actually turned up and done a good job for the club. His stats for the game were 3 clearances, 2 block shots, 1 interceptions, 5 tackles. He won the majority, 3/4 of his ground duels from 7 attempted. He won 100% of his aerial duels. He only lost possession 13 times, considering he is a player that gets up and down that left-hand side quite a lot. He had 63 touches and he had 86% pass completion rate as well, with 1 key pass, albeit none of his crosses were accurate. He was accurate with 100% of his long ball attempts. The guy did get forward. The guy did create problems for Aston Villa going down the wings. And to be honest, he's sparking up a nice little cheeky relationship with his good friend Said Benrahma in the team. So initially not thinking that he would be a left back, he's actually working out to be potentially a very good option for us. And the consistency I would like to see is for him to play week in and week out, because he's not just benefiting the team, but he's benefiting players like Said Benrahma getting up and down and giving us that much needed pace in that left back position. But who am I to make the decisions of the team? Now, listen, one of the first negatives I noticed in this game, and I don't like calling out individual players, and I actually thought essentially as an all-round player, he actually played okay today, but my biggest concern was he was caught ball watching quite a lot in this game. He played 90 minutes. He had 5 clearances. He made 3 interceptions, 2 tackles. He won 50% of his ground duels. He won nearly 100% of his aerial duels. He was lost possession 9 times. He had 61 touches with 84% of his pass completion rate. But the issue is that he was involved in marking Marino down the left-hand side, who, of course, set up the goal for Ollie Watkins to score from the corner. And to be honest, he was caught ball watching on several times in the game. He always is stepping out, missing the defender, giving the attacker too much space on that position. And I think that's maybe down to not just him, but down to the fact that West Ham are using him and utilizing him in so many different positions that he's not getting a run of games in the same position. It wouldn't surprise me now if he was dropped or rested for the next game. Someone else comes in and takes over that position, which is something I think we need to sort out and commit to. Apart from that, I thought he had an okay game, but he does need to try and nullify that issue because he is caught sometimes off guard. Now, listen, there's no ifs or buts about it. This guy shined today. Said Benrahma, another shining light for West Ham today. The guy has been under a lot of criticism for the season at West Ham. He played 90 minutes. He scored 1 goal. Very unlucky not to score more. He had 51 touches. He had a 54% accurate pass. But the thing is, with a creative player like that who plays out in the wing, who takes on players, you expect them to have a lower pass completion rate as well. We had 2 key passes. He created 1 big chance. He had shots, 5 shots on target, 4 off target, and 1 shot blocked as well. So the guy was, but what I really found interesting about Benrahma's performance today was he was getting in behind the defenders, and we were playing those diagonal balls, which was working down the right-hand side and down the left-hand side. And 9 times out of 10, he was getting on the receiving end of them. And that's a bit like, if you play that way, West Ham, you will see the benefits of a Said Benrahma player. So start to play to these players' strengths. It's only taken him 2 years. He is showing us consistency in terms of scoring goals and assists. And again, walked away with a goal again today. But the guy has got something in his tank, and he showed us a bit of that today when he latched onto these balls. That big ball that came in from Zuma, the diagonal ball from the right hand side, he brought it down sublimely and shot from distance, just going over the bar. The guy deserved his performance alone deserved West Ham to win that game, to be honest, because he was so unlucky not to put the ball in the back of the net several times. But we need to play to his strengths, because his strengths can be the creative player. When he gets on the ball, he creates things. He does something. It's something exciting. You can bring out the best in other players. Paqueta can be brought out in the best, and Paqueta can bring out the best in likes of Benrahma, albeit I didn't think Paqueta had his best game today, but that is definitely something that we should watch moving forward. The next part I'm going to talk to you about is the striker issues at West Ham. You've got Danny Ings, you've got Mickey Antonio, and you've got Skamaka. I mean, I'm going to come on to Skamaka in a second. The picture that breaks your heart. The geezer was on the sidelines as if he was ready to come on. I don't even know if it was Moyes telling him. I don't think it was, but I think he was trying to show maybe the fan base, look at me, I'm ready to go. He's running up and down that sidelines. He was training, he was stretching, getting himself ready. The game was designed for him, because Danny Ings unfortunately didn't get a chance today. Again, went missing, but I don't know if essentially that's his fault. He only had 10 touches in 86 minutes for Danny Ings. And if that is to tell you that you're not going to get substituted, then that is a ridiculous decision. In 86 minutes, your striker touches the ball 10 times. That is absolutely a ridiculous decision. He was offside 3 times, okay, albeit he was making good runs. They were good runs. He was offside quite a lot, as was Max Corney when he came on the park. He lost possession 3 times out of those 10 touches he had on the ball. But that is your issue. Your issue is we've got strikers who are all capable of doing a job, but we haven't found the right system with 12 games. And what are you going to do if you are Gianluca Scamacca sitting on the sidelines looking at that performance today, 10 touches, and you can't even get on the field? And then you listen to what David Moyes has to say at the end of his post-match press conference. He borderline says that his output and in terms of his numbers aren't exactly what we're looking for right now. What do you think Scamacca's sitting there thinking? I don't understand that. They talk about him. Moyes said about Scamacca today was his link-up play is very good. He enjoys play. We know that he's a physical data. He's got is much better than it has been today. But Maxi Corney could get in behind them. And let's be fair, we probably did. And we nearly did 3 or 4 other times. Well, we did. But the situation is that it wasn't working. So you need a big man up top to try something else. Do you know what? I'm getting really fed up when it comes to this whole situation about bedding players in. You look at all other teams in England and all around the world when they sign and spend the money they did on what you would call now as your Italian number 9 striker. You play them week in and week out, and you find a system that works around them. You can't tell me that Sebastian Haller and Scamacca are absolute disasters. Look what Haller's going on to achieve just now in his career, and look what Scamacca has previously achieved. It's got to be something not right there. Something's happening behind the scenes that's not making David Moyes enamored by Scamacca. But the situation is you've got a player that looks like he's fighting for the jersey, wants to come on the field and doesn't even get minutes when the striker for the game scores really lowly as a performance and only touches the ball 10 times. It's a ridiculous decision, to be honest, by David Moyes, which takes me on to my next point. Moyes is not looking good. Yes, I am potentially there, but I don't know what is going on right now. I've given the guy the benefit of the doubt. We can at West Ham. I don't know how many more times I've given David Moyes the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to sit here and start saying blah, blah, blah. The situation is when you look at something and something's not working, you change it. Why is he not changing it? Why was the decision to bring off Paqueta, who looked really pissed off in that decision as well? Absolutely enraged at being brought off. He went down the tunnel in a sulk. He was obviously told to come back and sit on the bench and support the team. But that shows you, if anything, the issue you've got there is there's potentially some problems in behind the scenes. But when you're talking about these players, why are we not just simply playing them? playing them from the start. Play Skamaka. Why not? He's your 30 plus £1 million striker. Put him on the park and give him the 90 minutes and give him the consistency and the run in the team. We've got 12 games to go to save our Premier League season, to save our skins from getting relegated, to go ahead and try and win a cup competition. And right now, you're still not sure what your starting 11 is. You're not sure. Like, it doesn't make sense. If something's not working, Antonio wasn't working against Brighton, why did you not change it? That's what I don't get. And that becomes hard to defend. I can't defend David Moyes anymore. I absolutely can't. For me, that decision today and decisions last week and decisions over the last couple of weeks and little small decisions that's been coming in has made it really tough for me to see how you can get the best out of this team. And I'm now probably concerned that something's happened in behind the scenes that you're not going to get the best out of the team. And I think maybe now is the time you need to look at the forward-thinking manager, but it looks like West Ham ain't going to do that now. So that's potentially off the cards. So what's going to happen over the next 12 games if we do ride our luck and we do look at this situation and we do get out of our the grit, the relegation battle, and we do survive? David Moyes, I guarantee he's going to look back at this Aston Villa game and say, look, we respect that point. And I agree with the point of respecting the point, but not this game. I don't respect this point. I respect points 6 games ago because I've said that 6 games ago, but I don't respect this point. This is a game where you're playing at home in front of your home crowd against an Aston Villa side that are struggling with injuries, and you've got nearly your full fit squad back, nearly within reason, but you can't even play your main man. And that picture does live really long and hard in many, and is etched in many West Ham fans' heads. When you look at that, the geezer looks absolutely broken. And I know West Ham isn't about being a one-man team. I get that. They're not. I understand that. But the situation is, Scamacca is an Italian international who's got a history of playing football at a high level, scoring goals, creating something from nothing, hold up plays there. Are you telling me that he would have got more than 10 touches today? I genuinely think the game would have really suited him today. What a game to get involved. The ball was getting put into the box, left, right, and centre. It was getting driven forward. The fullbacks and the centre-backs were pinging these diagonal balls, and they were getting in behind the strikers all the time. Paquetá had a field day. He was pinging balls forward, looking for Scamacca, left, right, and centre, but no one was there to finish it. No one was there to take the chances. And that's the frustrating part for me. I've spoke to my dad about the game, and I've said I don't understand Moyes' thinking. It's indefensible. I'm done with it. We need to move on. I can't see his thinking behind that decision. Try my best to be quite in the middle with this whole situation, but it's really, really tough to. So for me, I think it's got to be Moyes out. It's just when and how that's going to happen, because I worry now for the next 12 games if we don't turn this around. Southampton game, oh my word, I thought this game could be toxic, but if you don't get a result against Southampton, oh my God, I can't even begin to imagine what would happen at West Ham. So fingers crossed, we can try and turn this round. We can give Scamacca a run out, an overdue run out. 4 consecutive games he's been sitting on the bench and very rarely getting a run out in the team. What must be these players be thinking? Antonio's pissed off. Danny Ings not getting a shot or a chance or even getting many touches in the game. And Scamacca sitting on the bench just twiddling his thumbs. It's not looking good, really, is it? I mean, you can surely play some of these players together. We've been calling for Scamacca and Antonio to play at some point in the season, Antonio and Ings to play at some point in the season, Scamacca and Ings to play at some point in the season. Why not do it now? You need goals. You need to put balls in the back of the net. We're just on goal difference. We're out of the relegation zone, and by next weekend we could be back in it again and going into the international break in the same situation. Enough is enough. We need to change it ASAP. Get comments in, let us know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Come on, your irons.